The cry cut through the cabin like a blade, sharp, relentless, impossible to ignore. 30,000 feet above the earth, sealed inside a metal tube, hurtling through the clouds. Every passenger felt it at once. Heads turned, shoulders tensed, a few people sighed, others checked their watches. In the center of it all sat a woman who owned boardrooms, controlled markets, and commanded thousands with a single email, yet now, powerless, she cradled a newborn who would not stop crying. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet moments that reveal who we really are, take a second right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel, because this story begins where control ends. Where control ends. She was the kind of CEO people wrote case studies about. Sharp mind, flawless record, global reputation. Her calendar was booked years in advance, her name attached to mergers that reshaped industries. But none of that mattered on this flight. Her blazer was creased. Her eyes were shadowed with exhaustion. The baby in her arms was red-faced, fists clenched, tiny chest rising and falling in frantic bursts. She rocked gently, then faster, then slower again, every instinct searching for the right rhythm. Nothing worked. The crying grew louder, bouncing off the curved walls of the cabin, drawing looks that burned more than words ever could. This flight was not part of her plan. Nothing about the last few weeks had been. The baby was not supposed to arrive early. She was not supposed to be flying alone, balancing a fragile life in her arms while trying to hold herself together. She had delayed the trip twice already, canceled meetings worth millions, but there was one thing she could not postpone: a board vote waiting on the other side of the ocean, one that would decide the future of everything she had built. She told herself she could handle it. She always handled things. But no spreadsheet, no strategy, no crisis simulation had prepared her for this. As the minutes stretched, the tension in the cabin thickened. A man too rose ahead, pressed his headphones harder against his ears. A woman across the aisle shook her head and muttered under her breath. A flight attendant hovered nearby, offering practice smiles and well-meaning suggestions that changed nothing. The CEO felt the heat rise in her face. She adjusted the blanket, checked the baby's diaper, whispered reassurances that sounded hollow even to her own ears. The baby cried harder as if feeding off her anxiety. Across the aisle sat a man who noticed everything but said nothing. He was in his early 30s, wearing a worn jacket and the kind of calm that only comes from long nights and hard lessons. A single dad. His own child was not with him on this flight, but traces of fatherhood were written all over him, in the way his eyes softened at the sound of the baby, in how his hands rested as if they remembered the weight of a small body. He had flown like this before. Not in business class, not with polished confidence, but with a screaming infant and a heart full of apologies. He remembered the looks. He remembered the shame. He remembered wishing someone would just understand. The CEO barely noticed him at first. Her world had narrowed to the tiny, inconsolable person in her arms and the crushing fear that she was failing at the one role that mattered most. She thought about the headlines that praised her strength, her resilience. She wondered what those writers would say if they could see her now, unraveling over something so small and yet so enormous. The baby's cry cracked something inside her, pulling up grief she had buried beneath deadlines and decisions. She had lost so much to get where she was. She had sacrificed relationships, rest, even joy. And now, holding her child, she realized how unprepared she felt. The single dad watched quietly as the situation spiraled. He saw the way her shoulders trembled, how she fought tears as fiercely as she had once fought competitors. Ah. He waited, not out of hesitation, but respect. He knew that stepping in too soon could feel like judgment. But when the baby's cry turned hoarse, when the CEO's hands began to shake, he made his move. He stood up slowly, careful not to draw attention. The aisle felt narrower as he stepped into it, the hum of the engine suddenly louder. Passengers glanced up, curious, wary. The flight attendant paused mid-step. The CEO looked up too, startled, instinctively pulling the baby closer as if bracing for criticism. Instead, she saw something unexpected: understanding. Without speaking, the man gently gestured, offering help not as a solution, but as a shared burden. His posture was open, unthreatening. He had no polished authority, no title to lean on, just experience, earned the hard way. The CEO hesitated. Oh. Every instinct that made her powerful told her not to relinquish control. But exhaustion won. She nodded. What happened next shifted the entire cabin. The man took the baby with a confidence that did not come from arrogance, but repetition. He adjusted the blanket, changed the angle, held the tiny body close to his chest, letting the baby feel the steady rhythm of his breathing. He began to move, not rocking, but swaying in a subtle pattern, one that mimicked the motion of walking a restless child through a dark room at 3 in the morning. He pressed the baby gently against his shoulder, supporting the head just right. The crying softened, then slowed. Then unbelievably stopped. A hush fell over the cabin, so sudden it felt sacred. Even the engines seemed quieter. The baby's face relaxed, eyelids fluttering before finally closing. The single dad kept moving unhurried, as if daring the moment to break. It did not. The baby slept. The baby slept. The flight attendant stood frozen, hand over her mouth. Passengers stared, some blinking back tears they did not expect to feel on a routine flight. The CEO sat motionless, hands clasped tightly together, staring at the sight in front of her as if it were a miracle she did not deserve. Something inside her collapsed, then rebuilt itself differently. When the man carefully returned the sleeping baby to her arms, their fingers brushed. She felt a surge of gratitude so intense it hurt. Not the performative gratitude she expressed at galas and conferences, but something raw and private. In that moment, she was not a CEO. She was just a mother who had been drowning, and someone had reached in without asking for anything in return. The rest of the flight passed in a strange, peaceful blur. People smiled at her now, softer, kinder. A woman across the aisle slipped her a tissue. The flight attendant checked in, no longer with concern, but quiet admiration. The CEO held her baby, feeling the weight differently now, not as a burden but a grounding force. She watched the single dad return to his seat unnoticed by most, already fading back into anonymity, but she could not forget him. As the plane descended, she thought about power. About how she had always believed it came from control, from being the smartest person in the room. But what she had witnessed was a different kind of power, the power of empathy, of lived experience, of stepping up when it would be easier to look away. After landing, as the cabin stirred and people gathered their things, the CEO made her way toward him. The baby slept peacefully against her shoulder. She wanted to say so much, but words felt inadequate. She simply stopped, met his eyes, and nodded, hoping he understood everything she could not articulate. He nodded back, already turning away, already moving on with his life. But she did not. In the weeks that followed, the moments stayed with her. In boardrooms and strategy sessions, she found herself thinking about that flight, about the man who had changed everything without asking for recognition. When a proposal crossed her desk about restructuring a division that would eliminate hundreds of frontline jobs, she paused. She asked questions she had never asked before. She started listening differently. Her company shifted subtly at first, then more boldly. New policies for parents, flexible schedules, support systems that acknowledged people as humans, not resources. Months later, at a company-wide event, she told the story. Not naming names, not centering herself as the hero, she spoke about vulnerability, about accepting help, about the strangers who shape us in ways we never see coming. Employees listened, stunned by her honesty. Some cried. Some went home and hugged their children a little tighter. And somewhere out there, a single dad continued his life, unaware of the ripple effect he had created simply by being kind. If this story reached something deep inside you, if it reminded you that small acts can carry enormous weight, please take a moment now to like this video, share it with someone who believes in compassion, and subscribe to the channel so more stories like this can find the people who need them. And before the video ends, leave a comment telling us where you are watching from and what this story made you feel. Your words matter more than you know, because sometimes the most powerful moves are not made in corner offices or on global stages, but in quiet aisles, 30,000 feet above the ground, when one human sees another struggling and chooses to help. The story did not end when the cabin doors opened. In many ways, that was only where it truly began. In the days after the flight, life rushed back in with its familiar force. The CEO stepped into glass towers and boardrooms again, surrounded by polished shoes, confident voices, and the unspoken expectation that she would be unshakable. Yet something in her had shifted. She carried her baby differently now, not just in her arms, but in her decisions. Late at night, when the world finally quieted and the baby slept against her chest, her mind returned to that aisle in the airplane, to the strange calm that had settled over everyone when one exhausted father chose compassion without calculation. She had spent her entire career believing that leadership meant having answers. That strength meant never needing help. That vulnerability was a liability to be managed, not a truth to be honored. But the memory of that moment refused to stay silent. It followed her into meetings, whispered during negotiations, lingered when she reviewed reports filled with numbers that suddenly felt incomplete. She began to notice things she had once overlooked: the tired eyes of a junior manager who had just become a parent, the tension in a high performer juggling caregiving and deadlines, the quiet resilience of people who showed up every day carrying invisible weight. At the same time, far from corporate offices and headlines, the single dad returned to his own life. He landed, collected his bag, and moved on without ceremony. There was no applause waiting for him, no acknowledgement beyond the fleeting looks he had already forgotten. His world was smaller, shaped by school schedules, bills, and the steady responsibility of raising a child alone. Kindness for him was not a headline-worthy act. It was a habit. He had learned it the hard way, through nights spent soothing a crying infant with no one to trade shifts with, through moments when strangers' impatience had cut deeper than words. Helping on that flight had felt natural, almost instinctive, and by the time the wheels touched down, the moment had already filed itself away as just another thing he did because it was needed. Weeks passed. The CEO's baby grew stronger, her cries softer, her presence a constant reminder of what truly mattered. In the background of her life, something new began to take shape. She initiated changes that surprised even her closest advisors: parental leave policies that went beyond industry standards, emergency child care support, a culture shift that encouraged people to speak honestly about their lives outside work. Some questioned her motives. Others quietly thanked her. Productivity rose, but that was not the point. What mattered was that people felt seen. One evening, as she prepared for a keynote address about leadership and the future of work, she found herself rewriting her speech again and again. The usual language of disruption and growth felt hollow. Instead, she spoke about humanity, about the illusion of control, about a moment when she had been stripped of every title and forced to confront her own limits. She told the audience that the most transformative lesson of her career had not come from a mentor or a crisis, but from a stranger who reminded her that strength and gentleness are not opposites. The room was silent when she finished. Not because they were stunned by her success, but because they recognized themselves in her story. The video of that speech traveled farther than she expected. People shared it not for inspiration alone, but for permission to be imperfect, to ask for help, to show kindness without needing credit. Messages poured in from parents, caregivers, and employees who had never felt represented in corporate narratives before. And among them was one message that made her pause. It was brief, unsigned, and simple. A single dad had written that he once helped a stranger on a flight, never imagining it would matter beyond that moment. He thanked her for reminding the world that people like him existed. She never replied publicly. Some connections did not need to be completed to be real. Time moved forward as it always does. The baby took her first steps. The company continued to evolve. The CEO learned slowly and imperfectly how to balance ambition with presence, how to let others carry weight alongside her. She was still powerful, still decisive, but no longer distant from her own humanity. She understood now that leadership was not about standing above others, but standing with them. Somewhere else, the single dad watched his child grow too. He taught lessons the same way he lived them, quietly, consistently, with care. He never told the story of the flight unless asked, and even then he spoke of it lightly, as if it were nothing special. But his child learned by watching him that kindness was not reserved for special occasions, that empathy was not weakness, and that the smallest actions could change lives in ways no one could predict. Years later, neither of them would remember every detail of that day in the sky. But the feeling remained. The sense that for a brief moment, the world had slowed enough for one person to help another, and that it had been enough. And if this continuation of the story stirred something inside you, If it reminded you that real change often begins with ordinary people choosing compassion, then let that feeling move you. Like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment before you go telling us what moment stayed with you the most. Because stories like this do not live on through views alone. They live on through hearts that carry them forward.